ladies, it's Elisa and I am here for my belated 9 and 10 week bump date. I'm really sorry that I had to skip a week, but ladies, I am so tired. Even sitting here, I am exhausted. We've been really busy at work and I have just been generally just tired. So, what you've missed so far, in week 9, the baby was the size of a grape. And in week 10, the baby moved to a size of a cherry. So, I'm sorry about being so gone. I'm making YouTube videos every week, and then all of a sudden I drop off the face of the planet. But, I'm here now. So, yeah. So, I guess we'll start off with, what's going on with baby. He now has like nostrils, or she has nostrils, and most of their bits are there. And they have nail beds and even tooth beds, and they're practicing swallowing and yawning even. And it's just really crazy to know I have a baby that's in there that's, fully formed, just tiny. So that's crazy. My symptoms have been, again, exhaustion. My nausea has really lightened up. I know that it wasn't that bad to begin with, but, yeah, so I don't really have to eat crackers in the morning anymore, as long as I keep myself pretty hydrated and eat on a regular basis. But even if I push myself, and don't eat, I still am not experiencing the same level of nausea that I was experiencing before. That being said, I did actually throw up for the very first time at the end of week 9 or the very beginning of week 10. I'm not sure now. Excuse me. But yeah. Oh, and what set it off is that I've just been having so much congestion. I know that that's a symptom of pregnancy too. It's just really hard for me to sleep some nights because I can't breathe. So my own snoring is probably waking me up. Not to mention I have to pee like on the dot almost every like 2.5 hours. So between those two things, I find myself waking up a lot. So I'm hoping that lightens up a little in the next few weeks, and I'm actually able to get some rest, because I heard in the 3rd trimester you also experience a lot of sleeplessness. So yeah, sorry. So I threw up because I've been having so much congestion and waking up in the morning. So I've been having a slight cough that's been lingering because it feels like I have chest congestion. And it's not a cold because it's been too long, but I think it's my allergies and my pregnancy kind of mixing to make me in the morning, especially when I first wake up, just have a lot of coughing. And I threw up because I was coughing so hard that I gagged, and the gagging made me throw up. But because it was so early in the morning, I didn't have anything in my stomach. So it was not even, there was no water in there or anything. I hadn't drank anything. So it was mostly just dry heaving. But yeah, so the baby won finally. And remarkably, after I threw up, I felt a little bit better. So, and wasn't coughing as much, but c'est la vie. But yeah, so tiredness and just the lingering nausea that I've been having, and the constipation, pretty regular. I've been trying to eat those gummies, and it really does help. I can tell that it helps, but still, it also just depends on what I eat, and so I'm trying to watch what I eat, make sure I eat fiber, all of that. I don't know. So I'm trying. But yeah, so for, and the not being able to sleep thing, I heard that that's pregnancy symptom too. So, I'm just trying to deal with that. I feel bad for Brian because I know that I was already a snorer, but now my snoring is like to a new heights. And so he actually just sleeps with he sleeps listening to music anyway with earbuds. And so hopefully he can make it through this pregnancy without too much sleep deprivation. My diet. So basically the same things have been going on with me that were going on with me. I really can't eat vegetables. Tonight he tried to make peas again, and I really just couldn't eat them. I ate 1 spoonful and my body was like, you keep on trying to give those to me and we're gonna be done eating. So, I'm trying to eat vegetables, but really what I found myself eating most is fruit. Lots of fruit, we had a whole huge bag from Costco of cuties, and so I was eating those at least twice a day at work. And in addition, I was eating an apple, and I've been trying to eat crackers and almonds and stuff to keep good things. And you know, at dinner I try to eat we eat protein and a vegetable and a starch. So I've been trying to limit my starches, but I'm not doing so great. And I can only eat so much meat before I start feeling sick. But yeah, I'm trying. And for breakfast I either eat a bowl of like a fiber-rich cereal or something, or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's really been like my huge craving, is that I want peanut butter and jelly on toast, like all the time. And milk. I cannot get enough milk. I always want milk. Ice cold, delicious milk. Not chocolate milk, just milk. And I want it with everything. I want it with dinner. I want it with lunch if I had it at work. I just want it all the time. At first it was chocolate milk, like at the beginning of my pregnancy, but now it's just milk. I want milk all the time. And I can't think of any other lemonade. I've been wanting lemonade a lot, but mostly I just want water and milk. So, that's my diet. I've been trying to be really good, but what I wanted, again, still is that, brownie fudge sundae so bad. And Brian's being so good not letting me have it. And I've been so good not allowing myself to have it or going out and getting it when he's not here. But I just, I did let myself have a bowl of vanilla ice cream with a little chocolate syrup on it, but luckily the kids ate all that ice cream, so I only got one really tiny bowl. So I've been trying to really take this 15 to 20 pounds to heart. I really don't want to gain too much weight, and I think that I'm being successful, but the scale that I have here at the house is so unreliable that I'm not even gonna like keep stepping on it. I'm just gonna wait for my doctor's appointments and gauge in that way, because I mean that scale is the most accurate, and that's the one that I was weighed on originally, so that I know that the numbers aren't all wonky. But yeah, so what you guys did miss is that on the first day of my 10th week, I had my first prenatal class. So it was basic. It was a lot of information that I knew. Mostly it was about the genetic testing that you could do and the options. And me and Brian, after some wishy-washy decisions, we finally committed that we were going to do it, but that it wouldn't mean anything. The results wouldn't mean nothing. We just wanted to be able to be prepared. If I'm going to have a child with Down syndrome, or it's looking like that, or a trisomy, or any of the other things that it tests for, then, you know, we could be prepared, that I could read up on it, because we've gone through so much to get to this point with our baby, that there's no way we would terminate this pregnancy, or anything like that. So, you know, it's really just for our own personal knowledge, for our doctors to know, and all of that. So what it involves, what the genetic testing involves, is at the blood test that I'm already going to get. One was this last week, and one is in the third trimester. And then there's an additional ultrasound that normally people wouldn't get at 13 weeks, 12 weeks, at 12 weeks. So it's going to be next week that I'm having this additional ultrasound. And they're just going to be measuring, like, you know, the neck to shoulder ratio and stuff like that, looking for Downs. And so it's not additional blood tests. It's already going to be blood that I'm going to be already giving them, but they're going to take more vials in those times to test for these genetic things. So that's what we decided for that. And yeah, the class, it wasn't so interesting, but it wasn't so boring. At that class, I was completely unprepared because I had breakfast. The class was in the morning at 8:30, but at that point, I was still feeling sick if I didn't eat. So I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a big glass of milk, and then we went to this class. And at the class, one of the ladies is up there talking, and one of the other nurse practitioner came up to me with a little tiny bottle like this big of clear liquid, and she's all, well, you actually have to take your glucose test today. And I was like, well, okay, but I've already eaten today. And she was like, oh, that's fine. And I'd always heard that the glucose test, you needed to be fasting to take the glucose test. And I was like, oh God, is this sugar that I mean, peanut butter is full of sugar and jelly is full of sugar. So I was convinced that would just like aid in my the bad results. And so I was really nervous, but she said that it was no big deal. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, and my doctor told me it was at that point, it was just a week ago, that I was going to be taking my glucose test earlier because I was already overweight, but that it would be like at 14 or 15 weeks. And the nurse practitioner was like, well, I don't know why she told you that, because we always do it at this class. And I was like, well, I talked to a Kaiser nurse, and you're a Kaiser doctor, and you're a Kaiser nurse practitioner. So shouldn't there be a little bit more communication? But whatever. So some of the women in that class, I think most of them actually were 9 weeks pregnant. And at that point I was 10 weeks pregnant. So I was already ahead of most of the ladies there anyway. But, so I thought that that would be really early for some of those women, because 2 of the other women in the class were, overweight too, so they were both taking their glucose test, and then the 2 skinny girls over in the corner didn't have to take it. But the good news is that I passed. Well, my doctor said passed, but I guess the numbers had to be somewhere between, like, I don't know, it was like 10, I don't know what any of the numbers meant, and I could be making these up. It was like between 103 and like 124, and my numbers came in at like 114 or something. So I clearly passed. I mean, I was at the top portion, but I clearly passed. And the doctor said that she is only going to be talking to me about my blood test results at our appointments. Like, if something looked wrong on my blood tests, then she was going to she would get a hold of me, obviously. But if everything looks fine, then she'll just discuss the results at whenever my next appointment is. So that's what to expect for the future of my pregnancy. But yeah, that's basically everything. I'm going to have that next ultrasound, like I said, I think it's next week. And so that's great because it's with a prenatal ultrasound something. I just got the card in the mail, for the appointment reminder. And so, the nurse practitioner in the class said, well, that'll be really great because you'll probably get a lot of really great pictures for Christmas, because now baby fully looks like a baby, and they're going to, I'm assuming it's going to be an internal ultrasound, but I don't know. And, so that should be really fun. I'm, you know, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen baby, and it would be really nice to see them like fully formed human and not, you know, like a little pod person anymore. And then the good news about that too is that that will be at 13 weeks, and then you have the what do you call it, the anatomy scan at 20 weeks. So really, with this pregnancy, and because we did the genetic screening, I've really seen my baby a lot, especially a lot more than women who don't go through IVF pregnancies, because I've already had 3 ultrasounds, and I'm gonna get at least 2 more within the next few months. And then I think that there's another ultrasound during the 3rd trimester, but I'm not positive. But that's so great. I mean, that's 5 ultrasounds. I get to see my baby 5 times before I actually get to see my baby. So I'm really thankful for that. You know, 1 plus of IVF, right? We're always trying to look for positives, and that's one of them, is that I get to see my baby a lot. Speaking of seeing my baby, hearing my baby is also pretty awesome. During the last ultrasound, we got to hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time at 9 weeks, I believe it was. And so my mom's, a friend of my family, she just had her baby, and she had purchased a fetal Doppler. And I always was against having a fetal Doppler because I thought that it might make me a little neurotic, trying to find the heartbeat, and oh my gosh, what if I can't find it? And but then when she told me that she'd be willing to let me use it, or she said have it, but either way, I was like, okay, I'll take it. And so when my mom brought it over the other night, we totally like squidged hand sanitizer on my belly and totally tried to find the heartbeat, and neither one of us knew what we were doing, so we didn't find it. But I'm in no way worried about it, because you know, I'm not going to worry about anything, because she didn't want to press too hard, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Just jam that thing. But and we don't really know where to look, and we're trying to watch this like YouTube. I'm holding the YouTube, her phone, and like we're watching a YouTube video while I'm laying down, and she's like trying to use the scope, and it's like a joystick of a video game, and it was, it was a big old mess. So I think maybe me and Brian might try, but even Brian was like, I don't want to try. He's like, I might squish the baby. He's got all those little rubber bones and blah, blah, blah. And so he's paranoid that he's going to break the baby. And I've tried to inform him that the baby is surrounded by amniotic fluid and Elisa fluff and a million layers of things between the fetal Doppler and his little heartbeat. But maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. I'm not really concerned about it. You know, again, I'm going to have so many ultrasounds. I feel like I'm going to be seeing and hearing the baby a lot during this pregnancy, more than most women. So I don't know that I need that constant, you know, that constant affirmation that he's in there and he's growing. But, you know, it could be fun if we figure out actually how to use it, because it would be really fun for the kids, the older kids, because, you know, the girls don't really get to go to ultrasounds. They always have school, and the older one has work, and, you know, it's just harder to, like, and I don't know that Kaiser would let, you know, 3 people into my room. Those rooms at Kaiser are really small. So, you know, it might be fun to be able to figure it out so that the kids can see, really, I'm not making it up. I'm not just getting fatter. It really is. There's a kid in there. You know, we didn't just print these pictures off the internet. But, yeah, so that's all I really have for you guys. I think I've talked about basically everything. Been so busy. I'm really sorry that this video was so late. I suck so bad. I'll do my 11-week bump date on time, hopefully next week. Oh, and one more thing, just that popped in my brain. My work is actually doing like a trip. It's not like a pleasure cruise. It's like a big meeting, and it's in February. And so I was counting out the weeks, and I'm like, I'll be 19 weeks pregnant when this trip happens. So I'm excited about it, but nervous, because I'll be traveling with all of my coworkers on the flight in, and then hanging out for a couple days doing work things, and then they're flying our spouses up, which is so awesome. It was such a great gift. And they're going to stay for 2 days, and then me and Brian will fly home on the same flight together. So I emailed my doctor just to make sure that flying would be totally okay at 19 weeks. And my doctor said as long as your pregnancy is progressing, you won't have any complications at that point, it shouldn't be a problem, because we have to book the flight now. So, you know, sitting here at 11 weeks, I'm like, 19 weeks pregnant, I might be uncomfortable, but I'm not going to be, you know, it's going to be the middle of my pregnancy. It's not going to be too bad. I'm not going to be too huge at that point. If I'm even really showing at that point at all. But, yeah, so, you know, she said that the biggest worry about traveling later in pregnancy is blood clots. And she said that she gave me suggestions on how to deal with that or how to avoid it. But, you know, the flight's going to be only an hour and a half long. So it's not like I'm flying across country or, you know, somewhere really far. It's going to be a really short flight. So it should be able to be bing, bang, boom, and I'm off a plane. So I'm not trying to worry about that either. But I'm excited. So it'll be kind of like the last 2 days we do get free time, and so it'll be kind of like a baby moon almost, and me and Brian really couldn't afford doing that to a real baby moon. So, you know, I think we're gonna really just try to enjoy that time, just the 2 days of just me and him and a little baby bump, and see some sights and just enjoy the time together. But yeah, so that's one more thing that's coming up, but not until next year. But I'm sure it'll be here before I know it. People keep telling me that I need to start really thinking about baby names, because, you know, that baby's gonna be here before we know it. It's crazy. It's just super crazy. We have more baby names. We've been trying to really think of them. We really like last names for boys, like Sawyer and Truman, and, you know, a lot of those kind of names. So I think that's what we're leaning towards, those kind of names for boys. And for girls, I think we're thinking just really sweet. Brian really liked the name Anya and Vivian, and, you know, something I don't know, super feminine and just sweet. But I think our plan with the whole not knowing the gender thing is, you know, we're just going to pick a few names of each gender that we like. And when the baby's born, it'll be a huge surprise to both of us. And then, you know, we'll say, you know what, you really don't look like a Vivian. I think you really look like something else or whatever. And those aren't our final names. Those are, you know, one of about 15 of each boy and girl name that we like. But yeah, so that's crazy. I'm picking out names for my baby. I'm planning maternity travel at 19 weeks. And, you know, that's crazy. Just crazy, ladies. Just crazy. So I hope all of you are doing fabulous. And I hope if you're going through IVF right now, your cycle's going great. If you're going to go up, you're going to be going through IVF, I hope it will go great. I have faith that it will. And for all of you who got your big BFPs, I'm so happy for you. Mwah! All the best. And so I will talk to you guys next week, hopefully on time. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll be talking to you.